Hello guys. So I'm not in my usual location, but I wanted to make a quick video. And this video is very important to me at least, because it's something that I wish everyone had from the experience I've had with piano and teaching lessons. So in this video, I wanted to provide you all what learning a first instrument can provide for you and why that first instrument should be piano from personal experience. I don't know what's happening with my voice, but I'm going to go with it. And I'll get first into the first one, which is memory retention. So, ever since an early age, which is when I first learned piano at the age of 7, people thought I just had really good memory because I'm smart or whatever the other reason would be. This is not the case. And this is actually one of the skills you can learn from learning a first instrument. So, this can be really good for like any of the professionals I've met, like both from piano teaching and outside of that, just because like memory is everything, as I've learned. And this is something that I developed. I can remember very distinctly before the age of 7 what that was like, and then after. And it is kind of hard to recall, but I do like recall that like afterwards I got a lot better in school. I was just starting out, but I was able to do a lot better just because I was able to remember and retain things that I learned a lot better. Whereas beforehand, um, and you can attribute it to many other things, but that was not the case. The second main point is stress relief, and this is huge, which is why it's the second thing I'm mentioning. Um, I get stressed very easily. I have baseline, not hyper, but I have a baseline anxiety. So, baseline anxiety is terrible because it really cripples you from just going through your everyday life. And back when I would practice piano all the time, not so much anymore, um, I would feel better than I did after a cross country run, which I did in high school. Matter of fact, every single time after I played piano, I felt this huge wave of relief, and I was able to go about the rest of my day stress free. I mean, like basically stress free. And if only I didn't have to go back the next day, practice again to get that same effect. But um, learning an instrument can absolutely provide that. The next thing is that it helps you be more patient. And again, this is not something that I've had since birth. I've not always been this patient. Um, like I understand the age of 7 is not as useful to adults who want to learn, but patience is definitely something that I learned years after I started, where I kept progressively getting better at being patient. Like there were topics in school that required more and more patience to learn it and not get frustrated with yourself. And I was able to do it as I was continuing to learn and practice and get better at an instrument. And piano is a really challenging instrument on its own. It's as hard as any school subject, again, from personal experience. Um, and that's why I really recommend piano because that will definitely require you to be patient, as pretty much all my beginner students have learned. And it's not me, it's the instrument. Like there's so many different facets to learn about it. And then the main last thing is creative thinking, which is definitely true. It's not something that I've had from birth. I do tend to be more right brained, but learning an instrument um, makes you use your right brain a lot more. So that's really an add benefit from learning an instrument because on your own, you're not necessarily going to do that. Like there's maybe not too many scenarios when you're in school or outside of school where you're really required to have creative thinking. Creative thinking meaning like how do I represent what the artist wanted to portray in this song. And that's what learning songs would require. And then the last point, I don't know how quick of a video this is at this point, you have the power, even if you're just a beginner, to create any quirky melody you want. And that is a huge amount of power and worth learning an instrument on its own. Even if you don't want to play, even if you don't want to play for your wife or your nanny or whoever it is, your son, like even if you don't want to play for anybody but yourself, you just have the power to play notes on an instrument and form them in a coherent manner that forms a song. You can play it with dynamics, which is loud and soft, and like short and longer notes, and it all comes together. And that's really what I wanted to portray in this video. I did intend for this to be quicker, so there's going to be more parts of this, but at least wanted to get that like out into the open so that there's more to add in future videos. So thank you for watching this, and I will see you in the next one.